Welcome back to the second part of Monday's Sports Chat, and we talk about matter swimming. Today we're talking about the experiences of events that happened in Tanzania, Cana Zone 3 championship experiences from swimmers and also the coaches and the parents who were there. So there I'm joined by Anza Datsu. Anza, how are you? How was your experience in Tanzania?
It was a great experience, to be honest. It's putting the matters of SMF aside. The swimmers performed well. All the team effort from the team manager, coaches, chaperones, everything was on point. I think we won over 100 medals. The team placed second overall. And comparing our swimmers to the swimmers from Tanzania, Uganda, and other nations participated, I think we are. Even though we came second, I think we are leading swimming in East Africa, especially if we had the full team participating.
Right. Mama Nathan, you are there as well.
Yes,
as a parent.
Yes.
Compare and contrast the support that children in Tanzania and other countries from Uganda and Malawi and others who have attended. What is the support the parents give their children? Can you compare it to Kenya?
I think, yes, I say that Kenyan swimming parents are extremely supportive. I mean, we had a large group of parents who managed to travel with the swimmers to just cheer Team Kenya and shout and sing. I think the difference was the parents are supporting themselves with the swimmers, and you'd find like other countries like Tanzania were being supported by different sponsorships from different brands. So, but we were supporting ourselves. But I can say this: the parents were extremely supportive of the swimmers. Yeah.
Looking at you really supported your children on your own.
Yes, we support
without the
them
government, just like what rugby is doing right now.
Yes.
Supporting yourself on your own in these events.
Yes.
Looking at the experience as a parent, you have to support it. It's very expensive, number one. Not so many people can afford it. Is it worth it for parents to do them at their own, or it's worth it when the government chips in and supports these people? Because you guys, you're not representing yourselves. So you're representing the government, the country.
The country. So definitely it makes a lot of sense for the government to support. We actually had some swimmers who couldn't travel because of lack of funding. The parents couldn't afford, and most of us parents even needed to come together with our siblings to try to contribute to take our swimmers to Tanzania. I remember in Zambia happened earlier on this year. At the tail end of before the event started, the country supported us, the government supported us, and it was a big difference to the swimmers. This time round, we supported ourselves, we fundraised, looked for the money for the swimmers, and were able to send our swimmers. Our swimmers spend so much time. You can ask the coach. Swimmers wake up on average 4:30 in the morning. They're swimming from 5 in the morning to 7. These same swimmers have school. They have to be in school by 7:30. They have exams. They have normal studies. Then in the evening, they're back to swimming. So you find the effort they put is so much for them to have qualified to represent Kenya, and for them not to travel because of lack of funds. So as much as possible, you'll find all parents will do everything to try to support the swimmer, because we can see the effort the swimmers have put is immense. Yes.
What do you make? So many swimmers who had the opportunity to travel didn't travel, but you had the privilege of traveling. You're lucky.
Yeah.
I should say.
Yeah, I'm very lucky to have gotten to experience, a competition outside of Kenya.
Probably there's so many better and good swimmers who miss these chances. How do you feel for them?
I feel like I have sympathy for them because, it was a really great experience to go swim with other countries. And I wish that, they could have come with us. It would have been really great.
Coach, the parents here made a decision that even though we can afford it, but we can support other kids, other swimmers who are good swimmers, but they can't afford, they're less privileged, to Tanzania. And surely in that 45 squad of swimmers, there were a few who were less privileged, who didn't pay anything, but they were paid for. What do you make of that?
As Liz mentioned earlier, I mean, you're representing your country. I strongly believe that parents should not pay. It's you go out there into the world. You're marketing your country with your, obviously in this case, this was not the case with us because we're a suspended member federation. I think that's one of the reasons why we can't get government funding at the moment. I'm not 100% sure because I don't know the whole backstory of it. But I do feel that when you're representing your country, the government or the federation, whatever you want to call it, should have a budget for all these competitions, and I don't think swimmers should pay a cent to go and represent the country.
To you, Liz, these swimmers, before I come to you, let me just talk to Hannah first. Hannah, as a swimmer and as a team that you went to Tanzania, did you achieve your targets that you went to achieve there?
Yeah, I feel like we all did really well, and me personally, I feel like I did really well. I did the best I could, and I feel like everyone in that team did the best they could. They put their 100% into competing.
How can you sum up your performance as a team?
As a team, it was great. I feel like, you know, everything was, as long as like we tried our best, and that's what mattered. We did the most that we could. So our performance as a team was great. Yeah.
And as a swimmer, there's another one coming up, Zone 4 probably. Are you participating in this as well? South Africa? Or do it virtual?
Hopefully.
Hopefully. You're not sure?
Hopefully.
But you have the best time though that you can participate with.
Yeah, but there's, you know, a lot of factors that also go into whether I'm actually going or whether, you know.
Are you still afraid if the government won't support it or not?
No.
That's one of the factors.
No, it's more or less like, you know, balancing studies and everything, because I have my mock exams in January, so it's balancing studies and then actually like getting selected, because, you know, there's always new people, more swimmers. Yeah.
Some of your swimmers that you went to Tanzania with are probably studying the exams today, and others are as well probably began theirs on Friday and they're going on with it. How do you support them in terms of balancing this between education and swimming? Because they're two things which are just at some point it's a coincidence that they don't converge.
Okay. I think from my experience and what I see also other parents saying is swimming creates, sports including swimming creates a lot of discipline. So you find the swimmers are so disciplined to the point that you'll find in their education they're also excelling. Mm-hmm. So you'll find there's a direct correlation between sports and education, and that most from the parents I've engaged, their swimmers are also excelling in classwork. And because you really have to be very disciplined to have time to train, time to swim, time to do gym, you have to eat healthy, then you have to study, you have to do well in your exams. So you have to balance all that on a daily basis. So you find the swimmers are well disciplined. They know if they need to wake up at 3 in the morning to read, they will wake up and read. Mm-hmm. And some of the swimmers actually during the gala carried their books to study. So you actually had some swimmers carrying their laptops and their books, just studying during the evening just before night time. So we supported them in that sense.
Yes.
Yes.
That's wonderful that you give them opportunity to swim at the same time, do their studies. Now let's talk about the state of swimming in this country. It's a shame that we are all supposed to own, because one way or the other we are part of this game. We've made mistakes now in the processes that are supposed to be happening to make things straight. Coach, begin with you. How difficult was it for you and your team to participate or represent this country in Tanzania?
Well, it wasn't a great experience. It wasn't a great experience. We went with, our kit was not branded. We had plain white caps. Yes, we could have the colors, the Kenyan colors, so red, green, black, in our kit, but we couldn't have the flag. We couldn't have the name Kenya written anywhere. We competed under SMF. It was a bit, as Hannah mentioned earlier, it was a bit, maybe a bit embarrassing. But yeah, it's whatever happened in the past brought us to where we are now. I believe with the FINA-appointed stabilization committee, we are hopefully on the right path to get out of this situation as soon as possible.
To you, Hannah, how embarrassing was this? Walking around without a flag, just like you're nobodies. You're just there, like they don't know you. I'm told that somebody mentioned the name Kenyan, apologized for mentioning Kenya. Really?
Yeah, I mean, it was quite embarrassing, especially when we were being called to like marshal for medals. So like you had to stand in line, and it would just be like SMF or like suspended, and you know, it was quite embarrassing. And the fact that like everyone else had their flags with them during opening ceremonies, we were just walking. And even our kids, we don't have flags on our kids. We're just kind of there, I guess.
Did you exchange your kits? I'm told that some of the swimmers from other countries refused to take your kits. Really? Was that true, or that's just a joke?
It's true. It's true. Yeah. I mean, it's like you're taking a kit, but that kit, it just has colors. Yeah.
It doesn't have a flag.
No, these colors. Malawi
this
has...
is the kit?
This is the kit.
Without a flag?
Without
just
the flag.
Way it is?
Yeah.
So
these colors,
like
Malawi has the same colors as these, so, you know, like, it's just green, red, and black.
By the way, why should I take it if it doesn't have a flag? Why should I take it? I should associate myself with Kenya if it has a flag. But if it doesn't have a flag, why should I take it? I understand. What kind of a shame is this?
Yeah, so for me, I didn't realize the value of being called Kenya until, or the impact of being banned and not representing your country until I went for the competition. And the first part is, you know, the countries go parading. Before the game starts, the countries go parading round. Can you imagine we didn't have a flag to carry? And our swimmers were all looking, if you could see pictures, all our swimmers were looking down. You know, we are their parents cheering, go, 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 SMF. But all the swimmers are just looking down. Then during the swim, when they're swimming, remember most of the time they're looking, you can't see the swimmer. All you identify the swimmer with is with the cape. So now it's so difficult to identify the swimmer because they have no Kenyan flag. And then when they go to the podium to receive their medals, Team SMF, I mean, it was just so disheartening. It was so embarrassing. It was humiliating. It was sad. It's so unfair that our kids practice so hard, train so hard, and they can't represent Kenya. It's disheartening and really embarrassing. I can say it was disheartening and embarrassing and sad. And something must be done. Change has to happen. Yeah.
I want to ask a question which I don't want to include Hannah in this, because she's a swimmer and she's innocent. I don't want anybody to victimize her later. But you see, we're part of this. This is created by parents and officials of swimming. They were there. And some of these parents who have kids want their kids to have more privilege than the others. Some of these parents who have been there for long, they don't want things to change. We're in a modern world. Please.
You want me to react to that? What I would say is what needs to, so I don't talk about the past, but what I know needs to happen is we need a federation. Because currently no one is being held accountable. Who is responsible? Who is responsible? It's no one. But you see, if we had a federation, we can hold the officials responsible for the mess, if in case mess happens, you know. Currently, we don't have financials, we don't have audited accounts, no one is held accountable. Competition rules. You know why Hannah is saying she's not too sure about traveling next year to Zambia is there has to be competition rules set and a criteria for winning. The coaches will tell you. There's a criteria for team selection. The criteria is not shared in advance. And then because there's no clear communication, everyone is reading into their own things. So a big problem affecting our federation is lack of communication and clear transparency. So maybe things are happening on the background, but because that's not coming forthright and it's not being communicated, everyone will have their own stories of why the competition rules were not sent in advance, or why that kid Hannah was selected and my son wasn't selected, you know. But you see, the rules are clearly set up, are sent. Even the swimmers will know, you know what, for me to be part of Team Kenya, I need to have attained this level of time, or I need to do X, Y, Z. And then the money. If we don't have a federation, how do I even go looking? How do I knock doors of Coca-Cola?
How do you ask the ministry?
How do I ask the ministry to support me? Then how do I knock at different sponsors to give me money? Who are they sponsoring us as? SMF? You know, the other thing that I did mention that was really sad is, you know, we were competing, like we were sitting, Team Kenya was sitting next to Team Zambia in terms of parents, and we were cheering our swimmers. And then when the times when we were winning Team Zambia and we're cheering them, and then Team Zambia would be like, SMF, who are you again? Which part of the map are you in? And it's just disheartening. It's disheartening. So yes, we need to have a federation, because a federation will bring some rules and some rules and regulations that can be held into account. We need to have a constitution. So one of the things that has delayed us is we don't have an approved constitution. We have a draft one that was approved from FINA, and there were issues with regards to how the election should take place. So currently we are in court. Some parents have gone to court. And so we are at a stalemate, but we are hoping, as Coach Anze has said, that the FINA Stabilization Committee that has come to try to sort us out would be able to hold elections by December, latest January. Yeah.
Coach Anze, which country do you come from?
I come from Slovenia.
Slovenia.
Yes.
Is this how you do to Slovenia? Is this the way swimming is in Slovenia, or there's some background?
Pretty much swimming is quite sorted out there. I mean, me being a swimmer myself, years ago, it was never an issue like this. I mean, you know, well in advance. Normally, I would say Olympic cycle. That's 4 years of knowing which competitions are coming, what exactly each swimmer needs to do to qualify for each competition. And swimming is a time-based sport. You can take all it's very objective. If Hannah swims faster than me, Hannah will make the team, or the other way around. It's simple. For us coaches and also for swimmers, it's good to know these things in advance so we can plan. We have a goal to work towards, and we can plan our training sessions and work towards that goal. Now, if you find out a month, let's say, before this is happening, this is the team that's selected, it's very hard to prepare a training plan and work for it, because it's not enough time.
It's not enough time
to kind of organize yourself and yeah.
You say you simply saying there should be decorum. There should be programs. So.
There should be, yeah. As Liz mentioned, there might be stuff that we don't know about that's happening in the background. Is the communication, the lack of communication.
It should be clear.
But hopefully, once we get the federation sorted out, this problem will be solved as well.
Let me talk to Hannah now. Hannah, as a swimmer, you're now 18 years and you've been swimming all through, and you've seen everything that was happening in swimming. What do you want to happen for things to be clear and for things to be better, to have a good and conducive environment for you to participate and perform better as a swimmer from this country?
Like Anjay said, I feel like just knowing things in advance, because this Cana trip was also very like last minute. I think like as a team, or as like team, I'm going to say Kenya, we only had like 2 training sessions together as, you know, a team, and it was kind of hard to plan because, you know, there was one gala where it was like, okay, this is for timings, so it's kind of hard to plan, like, okay, these are the times that I need to get, because you don't actually know them till like just before the gala. So,
you don't want the suspension to be lifted, because one way or the other, the embarrassment will come back. If you go to South Africa, it will be the same treatment.
I feel like having the suspension lifted and being able to like represent ourselves as Team Kenya with a flag and everything, that would also like lift up the morale of the team when we go to other places.
Coach, before I talk to Mama Nathan, just in 30 seconds, as we wind up, what do you think is a solution to end this shame, to end this stalemate that we have now?
I believe, as Liz mentioned, the Constitution needs to be approved. I also feel that all the necessary policies need to be put in place, so when the elections happen, we have a good foundation and good structure, so we don't find ourselves in this position again. And that court case need to be resolved. I don't know the background of it, so I don't really want to comment much on it, but I think that's the best way forward.
Nathan, as you wind up.
Yes, I think from a court case point of view, I think both parties need to sit and, everyone looks at it from a win-win perspective, and once that's done and the Constitution is approved, there's no perfect Constitution, but I think what we have to its best of its circumstances is approved, and then once it's approved, policies, like Coach Angie has said, policies need to be put in place: finance policy, competition policy, scholarship policy, reporting policy. Officials come on board, a federation is in place, and we can elect those officials to run swimming based on the policies and constitution in place. And our kids can then know that, as they're competing towards a certain end goal, not competing to not knowing what next, and it can become vibrant. I mean, I'm expecting once we have a federation, the number of sponsorships that would come into swimming, the government supporting us, it can be a really vibrant sport, not just in Nairobi and Mombasa, but I mean, you're now seeing the sport cutting across counties. So you'll find swimming encompassing all counties and being a vibrant sport. And someone can even think of a career in sports management, specifically swimming. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Liz Timu, Hannah Sheikh, and Coach Anze Datsu. I'm so sorry that we had spelled your name wrongly, and please don't sue us for that.
Okay.
It's a mistake that happened. It's my mistake. I have to own it up. Thank you so much for coming this morning and sharing your experiences with us, and also telling us what you expect to be done for things to get better and Kenya to participate properly and in a manner that we can gain respect. Even though that you went there as a suspended member of FINA, you did so well and you came out number 2. You beat so many teams, and only the hosts were ahead of you. You garnered 2,768 points. That is too much for Team Kenya, a team that nobody wanted to mention that they come from this country. I'm grateful. Thank you so much for showing up this morning. And that's where we end it here on Monday's Posture. Let's do it again next Monday. We can talk about the World Cup later with Robinson Okenye from 11 to 1, where we talk about what is happening in Qatar with critical analysis and in-depth experiences of what is happening there. My name is Jeff Mogire. Thank you so much and have a good day ahead.